nominee for Treasury Secretary, Cecilia Rouse, to chair the Council of Economic Advisors. Biden noting his goal will be to build an economy that works for all Americans, not just some. Other picks include Wally Adeyemo to be Yellen's deputy at Treasury and Neera Tanden to be director of the Office of Management and Budget. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo today released a letter to the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alex Azar, raising concerns about how federal plans to track coronavirus vaccinations may impact some immigrant communities. NPR's Sally Herships has more.
Before states can begin the federal government's vaccination program, they need to make a promise that they'll share data with the Department of Health and Human Services, like the Social Security or driver's license numbers of everyone who gets vaccinated. That information could find its way to other federal agencies. Cuomo says that could deter unauthorized immigrants from getting the vaccine.
Anybody who reads that language who knows what they're talking about, a little bell goes off and it says they're going to share it with ICE.
More than 50 organizations have signed the letter, which also urges increased federal support for vaccine distribution in minority communities and proposes a tracking system that protects personal information. Sally Herships, NPR News.
The nation's factory sector was still expanding last month, though at a slightly slower pace. That's according to the latest report from the Key Purchasing Managers Group. The Institute for Supply Management says its manufacturing index declined to 57.5 in November from 59.3 in October. More record highs for Wall Street today. The Dow up 185 points. The Nasdaq rose 156. This is NPR. U.S. policy to stop drug trafficking in Latin America needs an overhaul. That is the conclusion of a bipartisan congressional commission. As NPR's Carrie Kahn reports, the commission hopes its report out today will be a blueprint for the incoming Biden administration.
The Congressional Commission studied the U.S.'s war on drugs in Latin America, concluding the policy needs to be smarter and more agile. Among the recommendations, the report says the State Department should take the lead in coordinating the fight against transnational gangs, that more needs to be done to stop money laundering, especially through the use of digital cryptocurrency transfers, and the Commission also calls for an end to the U.S.'s drug certification process, which has long been criticized as ineffective and deemed offensive by allies in the hemisphere. The report is critical of U.S. anti-drug policy in Latin America, which has cost taxpayers billions of dollars, and critics say has not curbed violence and corruption in the region. Carrie Kahn, NPR News, Mexico City.
The Nasdaq Stock Exchange would like to see more diversity in the boardrooms of Nasdaq-listed companies and is seeking the authority to make that a requirement. Under terms of a proposal filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, if approved, it would require all companies listed on the exchange to publicly disclose consistent, transparent diversity statistics about their boards. Each Nasdaq-listed company would be expected to have or explain why it doesn't have at least two directors who are not white men. With OPEC-led talks on whether to keep production cuts in place to prop up oil prices faltering, oil closed lower today, down 79 cents a barrel to $44.55 a barrel in the New York Mercantile Exchange. I'm Jack Speer, NPR News.